Arizona at Mississippi State. What I think is a very under the radar game. Way so under the radar game. And this game's not going to be played super late at night like it was last year. I think it was 11 p.m. game Central. Because it was played on the West Coast. This year, it's going to be played in Starkville, and with a little home and home action. The line's 10, 9.5 some places, right? So make sure you're line shopping if you, depending on what side you want, right? This is an interesting game. I think both teams looked really good last week. I think both teams have a lot of, I want to say hype, not like hype to win their respective conferences, but like hype in the sense where like they return a lot of guys, right? And there's talent on both these teams. And I think the players buy into these coaches. Now, Mississippi State has a new coach, but I think they buy into Zach Arnett there. They really do.
How could you not?
How could you not? And it's going to be tough, I think, for Arizona. Look, if Jaden Delora goes in there and he starts turning the ball over like he has some days, some games, trying to make too big of a play, I think this game could get out of hand like it did last year a little bit. This is a game, I think it was like 16.5. I think I took it. Mississippi State, they covered last year, so that was awesome. But that was a higher stayed up way too late watching that game. It was looking a sweat until the fourth quarter, but this year is a little different. I think Mississippi State might be in a dogfight here, no pun intended. But give Mississippi State to win, but give me Arizona to cover plus 10. Right, 9.5, I guess, if you but I'm just gonna say plus 10. It was plus 10 when I made the graphic. All right, guys, come on, cut me some slack here. Here we go.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think Arizona's a really intriguing team. I don't think right now I plan on betting against them much, with actual like monetary values and whatever else. But in terms of just picking, I think Mississippi State's gonna play really, really complimentary football. Not only offense and defense, which they've done in the past, even under Mike Leach was Zach Arnett there, defense corner, but with Will Rogers and Jaquavion Marks. I mean, I get it. It was Southeast Louisiana, right? But Jaquavion Marks had 19 carries, right? 127 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns and only long 37. So it wasn't like it was, one big 80-yard run, right? That just got all the run. They had 300 yards rushing. And I get it. It was a blowout. So obviously you're running the ball more often. The quarterback came in and got a couple big runs, but I don't know. I know you're high on Mississippi State. I think I am too. I think they're going to come really ready to play and show
super
out.
High. I took Mississippi State's over 6.5 wins. I'm super high on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're going to win and they're going to cover here. For Zach Arnett's kind of coming out party in terms of the national stage.
Look, I hope they do. It'd be a lot easier for my win total, my sweatiness. It's tough to sweat overs, right? Week 2, but this one feels like one that Mississippi State's got to get if we're gonna hit the 6.5. But yeah, I mean they were number 1 in the country last year with over 44 passes per game. Whew, that's a lot. And like you said, they ran the ball 19 times. Jaquavion Marks, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Come on, and also you know what? He was also active catching the ball as well. So, and we know he's good at catching the ball, right? If you're a Mississippi State fan, you know what Jaquavion Marks about, right? But yeah, I just think Jaden Delora could make some big plays here. Mississippi State's still testing out a new era secondary, right? You lost a lot of key pieces there. That's probably the biggest question mark of this defense is the secondary, and I think Arizona has the weapons on the outside to potentially put up some points, maybe some explosive plays, right? I don't think they're going to run the ball very well at all. I think Mississippi State's interior defensive line is way too good for that, and the linebackers are fine. I think it's really going to come down to, can Will Rogers manage this game? Can Zach Arnett dial up some stuff and put pressure on Jaden Delora to turn the ball over? Can Will Rogers take care of the football? So I think this is a close game. If I was to predict the score on this game, the over-under is at 60.5, right? If I was to predict the score, I'd actually say this probably goes over. My guess would be 35-31, Mississippi State.
Ooh, that close. I think a late touchdown with Arizona? You think they backdoor cover? You think it's actually a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter?
I think it's a backdoor cover. And maybe they get the ball back with like a minute to go and they just don't have it in them. I think it could be a 1-possession game.
That would be pretty impressive if you're Jedd Fisch. They're even not, getting the win, but being right there at the SEC at Mississippi State. And that's Yes, nationally, Mississippi State doesn't get the respect they deserve, and not rightfully that they should get. But that's not an easy place to play. Starkville is tough, and it's a night game, and they'll be fired up for that for sure. There,
Yeah. And look, if Zach Arnett, right, he hasn't had a lot. I mean, he coached the Illinois game, right? He doesn't have a lot of experience. Like, look, if Arizona comes and makes this a close game, I would still be, on the other hand, well, one, impressed with Jed Fish, but I'd also be impressed with Zach Arnett. If they kept their composure and held on the football and did what they needed to do to win the football game, I will still be just as impressed.